Hi guys, Stingy Prepper here. Today we are going to talk about prepping for beginners, and I'm going to share with you 5 tips to help you kickstart your Prepper Pantry and to keep the momentum going after that. At the end of the video, I'm going to share with you the beginner mistakes I made in the past few months regarding my food pantry. And hopefully, sharing my personal successes and failures as a beginner prepper will help you save both time and money for your own prepping endeavors. Now is the time, guys. Let's get to it. The main idea of this video is to give you practical tips that are going to help you getting started with your Prepper Pantry. Hopefully these 5 tips will also help you save a lot of money on food preps, and last but not least, they should help keeping your motivation and your momentum going after you have finally started building your own Prepper Pantry. So without further ado, let's have a look at my tip number 1. So the first tip I want to give you guys is to fill up your kitchen pantry and then to get your Prepper Pantry ready. And by this I mean the Prepper Pantry space. And why I want to insist on these 2 spaces first, because I am a visual person and basically I found out that having a dedicated empty space really motivates me to get it filled. So hopefully it should also help you keep your momentum going once you get starting filling your shelves and you see that you still have space left and so on. Now, when it comes to good practices for your pantry, I would advise you to get first a nice rotating kitchen pantry. And once it is full, it should approximately be worth 3 weeks of food for a couple. So that's a great first goal for your Prepper Pantry, guys. Now, to give you a real life example today, I'm taking you into our very modest kitchen and I'm gonna show you the content of our little kitchen pantry right there. So here we go, guys, and I've not cheated, I've not tidied up anything. This is actually how my food pantry is right in the kitchen. So yeah, I estimate that would be the equivalent of 3 weeks of food again for a couple. I have couples of bouillon here, coconut milk, all the pasta sauce. And then I have different types of pasta, spaghettis, fusilli, etc. Then I have rice and I have some legumes. So that's for the upper part. Here down there we have some cans, beans, polenta, beans in jars, tuna, potato flakes, a bit more legumes here, some vegetable flakes, and yeah, that's about it. It's almost full, as you can see. Like I said, I did not cheat. That's how it is on a daily basis. That's how it looks like all the time, and that's the first goal. That's a great start, guys. So hopefully it inspires you. No rocket science here, just a little kitchen pantry, but maintained and full for 2 people. Once you have filled your kitchen pantry, it is now time to work on a space for your Prepper Pantry. And this is gonna be basically the space for both your long-term food storage and also an extension of your rotating kitchen pantry. So here is my second tip for you guys. Make a long-term food storage shopping list and start filling your Prepper Pantry with that. It is gonna be a great quick win and also a cheap win. Now, who doesn't like the sound of that, right? Why quick? Because if you store a few buckets of grains and legumes, it can pretty fast add up to 3 months of emergency food for a couple. So this is definitely a quick win that can be achieved in just one run at any wholesale food store. And this is also a cheap one because buying dry whole grains and legumes is very affordable for most people. So now let's see how we can keep building up from there and go from a 3 months emergency food supply to a complete rotating pantry worth 1 year of food and specifically suiting your diet. So now is the time for another real life example, guys. So let me show you my modest prepper pantry. So I'm just finished with the space, guys. I actually completed building the shelves about a week ago, and I organized the few bits of food that I had already into this space before I built the food shelves. So that's how it looks like. I'm gonna show you a bit more in detail. So I believe it's quite an easy and straightforward system. I have 3 shelves, 1, 2, 3, and to the left I'm gonna store all the food that is to be eaten by the end of next year, and then by 2023, 2024 and plus. And at the bottom is gonna be actually my long-term food storage. This is a food grade bucket. I'm just missing Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers, as I'm gonna say a bit later in the video, but all down there is gonna be my long-term food storage, and up there is gonna be my consumables slash fire starters, etc., tinder and stuff for the house. So yeah, that's very simple, but with the 3 shelves I have a lot of space left, as you can see, and if need be I have the space to add 3 more shelves, 1 more here, 1 more here and 1 more here, so I can still double the capacity. But again, step by step, first goal is to fill those 3 shelves, and when it's done I can keep growing. So that's it for my food pantry, guys. So tip number 3, stock up weekly on the food that you eat and love while it is on sales. Very important point. So basically here what you want is to develop a habit, and this habit is gonna be the key success factor to grow your prepper pantry in a slow but steady fashion. Also, this approach is gonna save you a lot of money in the long run. Why? Because of course you are shopping on sales, but also because if you are doing a few mistakes along the way, and probably you will, there will be at least mistakes made on a relatively small quantity of supplies for each specific items. Tip number 4, go quarterly to a wholesale food store to discover new offers and package sizes. So why is it important? It is important because your local and favorite supermarkets probably are not gonna offer everything you need to build a great prepper food pantry. That's why it's quite important to explore more options in general in order to fine-tune your pantry first, and also to make sure it is diversified enough and truly matching your own diet and requirements. Now let me give you a personal example. In my household, we are consuming a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. So part of our plan when it comes to long-term food storage is also to store a lot of fruits and vegetables. Problem is they take a lot of space in comparison to storing meats and carbs. You are simply not gonna get the same ratio of calories per space occupied if you go for vegetables or storing meat. So how do you face this problem? What kind of solutions are available? This is typically the kind of questions you need to ask yourself, and you need to go find these solutions in maybe different shops. So for example, I found a great product in a wholesale food store next to my flat, which is this dehydrated vegetable flakes. So this is a great way to store vegetables. It takes very little space because it's dehydrated. Those are typically flakes to do vegetable soups, and you are gonna be able to store this for 3 years. The vitamins are not gonna be as great, obviously, as if you eat those vegetables fresh, but at least you have some variety in your diet. Those are vegetables. So here, for example, a great way, a great solution to store vegetables in a smaller space. So working on such specific problems and solutions is gonna help you greatly increase the variety of food stored in your pantry. And ultimately, you are going to get closer to storing what corresponds to your ideal diet by doing so. But to be honest, I believe that there is no way for you to find everything that matches your personal needs in terms of food in a shop. That's why I want to share with you this last tip, and maybe this is the most important tip of all when it comes to growing your prepper pantry. And this last tip is start preserving your own food. So I'm talking here about canning, dehydrating, smoking, and of course much more than this. Why? Because it is important to actually do the things, do it yourself. You need to learn how to preserve food because there might be a time when you won't have access to a supermarket anymore. And also there is simply no better way to make sure you store what corresponds to your very own diet than if you cook yourself and preserve yourself. So that's it for the tips, guys. And now is gonna be probably your favorite moments. This is the moment to share with you the beginner mistakes I made in the past few months related to my food pantry. So let's get to it. So the first mistake I made, guys, is buying food in bulk before I had the right storage space. Now, as you will see on the video, this is basically the space where now my food pantry is, as it was before, so full of mess, nothing was organized, I didn't have food shelves, I was just dropping here and there the food I was buying, and that was, simply it just did not make sense. So finally I ended up building my shelves, as you can see, and now everything is nice and organized. But another example of something I made wrong is that I built those shelves before cleaning the pantry, and that was again a mistake because it was dirty everywhere, and now that the shelves are built, it's harder to clean the space. So really get your space ready before buying anything, all the infrastructure you need, the shelves you need, and then clean everything before you get any food into the space. Now the second mistake I made was again to buy food in bulk before having the right storage equipment. And by this I mean basically having food grade buckets, Mylar bags, and oxygen absorbers to fulfill the need for my long-term food storage. So guys, I want to show you again in real life what I've done, because I did not have yet proper storage equipment and I had some food on hand. So I used this food grade bucket and simply dumped inside of it every type of food that could be basically attacked by mouse and other rodents. So typically anything in plastic bags like legumes or rice. And I've done the same in this other bucket that is also almost full. So I definitely have some long-term food storage, but it's not stored properly. Again, my mistake. I bought a bit too much before I had the storage equipment. But I was not expecting this, but I'm actually struggling to prep on certain items here in Bulgaria, and definitely Mylar bags, or like huge sized Mylar bags and also big oxygen absorbers, and even smaller food grade buckets I cannot find. I cannot put my hands on those items so far, so I have to keep researching and to find temporary solution in the meanwhile. And last but not least, mistake number 3. I built my food shelves without wearing gloves and without the right tools. And what happened is that I cut my right thumb open. As you can see here, I have a makeshift splint for my finger so that it doesn't move. You are probably wondering what it was earlier in the video, because I cut myself quite deep while working the metal shelves with, of course, my bare hand. And it was a great lesson though, because it showed me how totally unprepared my girlfriend and we are when it comes to providing first aid. So to give you an idea of the situation, when I came back to my flat to seek first aid, I was unable to give clear instructions to my girlfriend for her to know exactly what to do and where to find even the first aid kit. And herself, she was unable to identify the first aid kit on her own. She first, and it's no joke, she first brought me paracord and a fire kit that was in the brain at the very top of my camping bag, because she had no clue what the first aid kit looks like. And I'm not kidding, guys, this is a real story. It happened a few days ago. So this is how panicked we both were. For sure, okay, a bloody but also small cut. So what it teaches us is that we still have a lot of things to learn, of course, and preparation to get done. Anyway, finishing on these wise words, that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you are one of my early subscribers, I thank you all, guys, for your support, and I see you as usual in the comment sections. Thanks for watching. Stingy Prepper out.